going on, guys? Today we'll be replacing a valve cover gasket on the 06 Honda Odyssey. It's not really that hard on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the hardest. I want to say 6. But the only thing I found frustrating was the wire harness loom on the valve cover gasket towards the firewall side. On the back end, it loops right over the valve cover. So you kind of have to play with that, get it out of the way. But I'll show you, as the video goes along, how I got through that. But other than that, it's not really that hard. Hope this helped you out. Let's begin. Start by removing the air intake cleaner, the hose that goes into the throttle body. Disconnect. These are the wire harnesses. These are the wire harnesses that I had to disconnect. You had this one going to the manifold right here. That comes out. This one goes to your, I guess this is your throttle position. No, I guess it might be a throttle position setting. I don't know, but you disconnect this one. Disconnect the harness to the throttle body. Disconnect your vacuum lines to the manifold right here, and also this one to the actual intake hose. Disconnect the hose from the brake booster to the manifold. Disconnect this hose from the front valve cover into the manifold right here, and also disconnect it right here. I guess this has to be the map. This make more sense to be the map sensor. So disconnect this right here, and also this could stay on. Yeah. So far, that's the hoses I disconnected and my sensors before you begin to take off the intake. Alright, next you're gonna have this little cover right here on the intake manifold, which is held down by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 10s, 11 10s right here. These little bolts, they're 10 millimeters, and you got 2 nuts right here, 1 and 2 right here. The 2 little nuts, little 10, and they're all 10s. Once you take them off, it's also attached to that. Like I said, this must be the map sensor. Remove it. Now once you remove it, we're gonna have these 12s. We're gonna have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there's 1. These 12s right here. Remove them. And you have these 2 nuts. 1 and 2 nuts right here. Now, those 2 nuts, after remove them, then you can remove your manifold. Now, once you remove the intake manifold, you have to set it to the side right here. And also on the bottom of the manifold itself, there is a coolant hose right here. So you're gonna want to remove that, and then the manifold come out completely. Now, I tape this off with duct tape so nothing falls into the valves and mess your valves up, because you don't want any debris, anything falling in, because it's directly into your engine, into the heads right here. So tape that off, just a precaution. You're gonna want to take off the harness for your ignition coils. So they're held down by 10s, 2 10s right here. Disconnect the harness to the ignition coils. Remove the actual ignition coils right here. And what I use to remove the ignition coil, they're held down by hex bolts, and this is a, if you can see that, 7/32 hex socket. Remove the ignition coils. Once you remove the ignition coils, you have your 10s that hold down the manifold itself. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And remove your dipstick. Now once you remove everything, and just you can move this out of the way, your intake manifold should be loose, as you can see. See, remove your intake manifold, and this is the manifold. Sorry, intake manifold. The valve cover. I don't know where my head is at, but you remove valve cover. This is valve cover close to the radiator, by the way. Remove it and proceed to replace your gasket. Now to do the back valve cover gasket, the one closer to the firewall, you have a wire harness right here for the car. You have 2 10s that hold it on. You have one approximately right here, and the second one like pretty much like to the front of it. If you can see my finger, you got these 2 10s that hold it down. Remove it, you get some play out of it, and also disconnect this right here. This attaches right here. So just disconnect, and you have a little bit of room to work with. Take out your ignition coils, of course. Same thing, it's held down by those hex. Same as the front. Now you're gonna have you have 3 10s back here and 2 10s on the other side. So it's a total of 5. Once you remove those 10s, remove your ignition coils. What I did, take my little pry bar, pry it up. Just gotta pop that seal. Then you can just wiggle it out. Actually get it out, this is what I had to do. I had to take the harness, kind of push it back at an angle towards the firewall as much as I can. Disconnect, just so you won't risk of breaking it, disconnect this harness for the injector. For this one, you don't have to disconnect. I didn't have to disconnect the other two. So you get a little bit more play to push it this way. Push it back, kind of put a little bit of effort on it, kind of force it back a little bit, and then give enough clearance to actually kind of fish the valve cover over the harness itself, and it'll actually come out like that. So you just kind of fish it out, push this back as I said. Disconnect this injector harness right here from this one, right here. You kind of push this back, and you have enough room to kind of fish it out. And it'll actually come out. Now to get it back in, just pretty much repeat the process. If you have an extra pair of hands, that would be better. Kind of hold this back, put some silicone on the gasket to kind of hold it, which I'll show you, and you should be good to go. Now after you replace it, you can replace the gasket, of course, replace the grommets. How I get my grommets back in, I just usually take them, take the back end of a flathead or Phillips, it doesn't matter, take it, and you just tap it in around. Then you won't run it with this plastic, of course. You won't run the risk of actually damaging the grommets. Now, to get this valve cover back on, what I had to do, I had to take the harness, put a little bit of effort in it, force it in the back. You won't damage anything. Push it in the back as much as you can. Kind of pry it over this little plastic piece right here, and it will kind of help you to hold it on. I took my left hand, held it on, then kind of you push it at an angle, like coming down like this. I came back in first, fished it back there till it's set flush. Now once you get that back on, make sure your gasket is still on, of course. Line up your holes for your 10s and repeat the process to put everything back on. Also, how I clean off the surface for the heads, I use brake cleaner and a shop rag, just to wrap it off, make your surfaces clean. So you know you want these to mate as much as these can, so you get a proper seal, and you should be good. Alright guys, hope this video helped you out a lot. If you like it, share with somebody else that might need help with doing the valve cover gas in these Hondas. Like it, share it, subscribe. Once again, hope this helped you out a lot. Peace.